different. You ready?
Right. Yes, I'm so ready. Let's get into it. I'm ready to talk Percy. What do you guys want to know? What have you guys been meditating on? What's been marinating in your head? How do you feel about the finale? Oh my god.
Oh.
I'm like really excited. I was watching all this stuff. Like we were in the tag wars yesterday because the finale came out, and like I cannot believe that it's out. The teaser for 3, clock it.
Yeah.
Clock the teaser for 3. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to talk. I'm so excited.
So the teaser wasn't in our early episodes, so we didn't know, like we hadn't seen it until like the episode actually came out. And so we were just like, hold on, wait a minute.
It was the biggest treat. Like I think like Dan and them were like, you know what? We're gonna bless them with a gift. They've been so patient. They get a little treat, a little gift.
It was so perfect.
I appreciate it.
I'm so like, because 3 and 4 are my 2 favorite books, and they've never been adapted. So it's just like,
I'm excited. You know what? I know we're supposed to be here talking about. Pause. Sorry, Phoebe. I just noticed your hair looks so fire. Like,
thank you.
But I know we're supposed to be talking about 2 right now. But I'm just so like dummy excited for 3. Like. Everything has been shifted up a notch. Story in like relationships, the dialogue, like the actual like verbiage like that we use. Is that the right word? Verbiage? Like all of that. It's just up a notch. And then also to the way that things are lit and the intensity of like the way that the shots feel. They feel so much more intense and grown up because like the characters are growing up. The audience is growing up. It's just the producers think about, and the directors as well, but the producers think about this show books down the line. Like it's so scary too when you first get a script, especially for 2. Like when we first got some of the scripts, like where we did have the changes. I remember there would be some moments where like Walker and Arian are like, we'd all like talk to each other, of course, and we're kind of just like, how do you feel? Guys, are we sure? But we just had to have faith in the writer's room, in the directors and the producers, because now seeing all of it together, and like seeing 2 done, like just all put together, the way that it properly sets everything up for 3, let alone how certain like decisions that were made in 2 set things up for like 5. It's just like they have their thinking caps on, and it's really good.
That's what we've been talking a lot about. It's just like, I think I have some friends that will be like, oh, I wonder why they did it this way. Like, why of all the changes? And I've been sort of like, oh, it's because I can kind of see, I think in like, you know, like, especially like the huge change at the end with Thalia, like, it's like, no, actually going into Titan's Curse with like not knowing which way like she's going to go is actually such an incredible change. Cause like, it just adds so much more drama and dimension to it. At least to me. So
it really does. I mean, I remember I do my best to stay offline as much as possible because like, you know, there's just so much happening. But I remember seeing like one person talk about how like they were like, it could be so much more intense. Like it could be like Star Wars or da 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 da. And I'm like, just be patient. Like we're taking it there because it's so true with that. That's a huge change at the end. And first of all, also just to have that giant battle as well. Huge change. But the way that it makes you feel on the inside, I think it needed to happen because it makes you feel when you're watching it the same way you felt when you read it. Like, if that makes any sense. Like, the way that Rick writes, like, the way everything is described is just so intense. Like, you can feel it. But to convey it the exact way it was written, to also convey the same emotional intensity on screen is a little different. And I think they found a really good, like, way of threading the needle, like thinking, like, down the line.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Monster Donuts, a literary and historical deep dive into the Percy Jackson series and all of its following spin-offs. I'm Emily, a classic scholar-ish.
And I'm Phoebe, a dramaturg and story consultant. And today we are joined by our Clarisse La Rue, coming to us live from Paris, is Dior Goodjohn.
Hey
Welcome to the
guys.
podcast.
Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you for having me.
We are
We're
so
so
thrilled that you're here.
thrilled.
It's been so long in the works. Like actually so long. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys a little story. So when we all first started, I remember Nicole was the one that introduced me to you guys, Charlie's mom. She was
Mm,
like, they are just so, with it. And they just have a good understanding, like of the deep like things about these characters. Like you should listen to the podcast. I was like, okay. So I do. And then I can't remember if it was you guys or Seaweed Brain or both. But you guys, I remember started having people on the podcasts, and I didn't know that I could just reach out and be like, hey, can I come on? So I was like, I really want to be on the podcast, but I don't know if they want to have me on the podcast. And so you have no like, you don't understand how fulfilling this is for me today. I'm so dead serious, like actually.
No,
no,
we have wanted you here for a very long time.
Yes, absolutely.
And shout out to Nicole for all that.
Yes.
Shout out to Nicole for all that.
Shout out
Yeah.
Nicole. Thank you, Nicole. Yes.
Okay. Season 2. What a season. It's been so long since a TV show has had me like this like giddy and energized and like mind racing after every episode. It's been
Yeah.
so fun to watch. And so much of it is thanks to you and thanks to Clarice's arc in this season.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
really incredible.
Like watching episode 4 when we were like doing our breakdowns, and I was doing a really slow watch through of like,
Yeah.
especially a lot of the like Clarisse Percy scenes where I was literally like going line by line, and it was like getting to me. And like, I don't get God, I don't cry at anything. The emotion that y'all were just pouring into those scenes, and especially with Clarisse, like, and her vulnerability that you were kind of bringing into it, was just so impactful. It was sort of like, it was like seeing all the stuff that we kind of had to find under the surface in the books just really brought out in such a beautiful way.
Guys, hold on, because I'm literally about to start my period. You guys are gonna make me cry. Seriously, that you guys have no idea how much that means to me. Because I remember one of the big things that I was a bit nervous about. I won't say that I was nervous, but like I just understood that like this was gonna take a detour in terms of what people are expecting from me, and that I need to make sure to deliver, as scary as that is to be like so emotionally naked like on camera, but deliver not just for like myself, but deliver for the people that have waited so long to see this adapted properly, to anybody else who had auditioned for Clarisse that would have killed to have the opportunity, for any kid that was going through the exact same thing that she's going through. I was like, I remember talking about that at length with Andrew. So the fact that it reads on screen it means a lot to me. So thank you for telling me that. I appreciate that.
And we'll
We
say it
mean
100
it.
more times. I mean, going into this season, like knowing that it's like the Clarice season. I remember the first time we met you at the season 1 premiere. That was like the only thing we talked about with you was like the next one's the Clarice season, and isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But like going into this, knowing it's the Clarice season, was there anything like what was that like? Like just knowing like were there any scenes or moments specifically that you were like, I have to make sure I nail that, or like I can't wait to tackle that?
It was my Braveheart speech day. I was like, okay, okay. So this needs
Yeah.
to, okay. But then also too, from the books, it was that the moment where Clarice and Aries have their thing, I could not wait. Like was like itching and scratching and just like to get that on camera and do it, like, and really do it. I was like, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna leave it out all out on the table, it's gonna be amazing. I was like, this was the one. I'm really sad, not really sad, we had to do what we needed to do for the health of the show in totality, but that scene did wind up getting trimmed. All love to my producers, all love to everybody. Like, again, it was better that it did for the health of the show in totality. But we did have like an extra little bit of that scene where it got really, really like intense and just like emotionally like deep. And it conveyed to me, like while I was shooting it, the way I felt like is exactly how I feel like the reader felt. Like, you know, when they read that moment in the book where it describes like what happens between Ares and Clarisse. But that was the one that going into it, I was like, okay, I'm excited to put this on camera because it's like a glimpse into her why, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's so important in the book because that is like one of the only glimpses we get into it.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
because of the structure of the season, we like, I mean, I love that scene very much, but we have enough that it's all right.
Exactly. Like we have enough to like we have enough that's being like that it's being told through Clarisse's behavior as opposed to being told like through like as opposed to seeing it in the dynamic between Clarisse and Ares, you can see it in her behavior throughout the entire season. But also too high key, it was like a little bit too intense. Like not even gonna lie. Like he's like Jackson broke your spear. Like how do you think that made me feel? Are you ever gonna let that happen again? And I was like crying and I'm like, no. And he's like, punch me. I'm like, what? He's like, come on. Like, yo, you can. And I like punch his stomach and he has God abs. So I'm like, ah. Like it was a lot. It was very much a lot. Like it went from like Disney Percy Jackson to like on Hulu. Like it was crazy. But we see enough of it through her behavior in the season, which I'm also really happy with the writing because you can tell just in her mannerisms. Like you can already see it. You don't have to see it between them. You can literally see it in her, which is so blessed.
And I think it really comes through like in so much of her arc. Like, and I think also because we get the setup too of Ares in season 1 where like, I know coming out of that, I was like, what is this guy like as a parent? Like,
yeah.
Especially with Adam's performance. It was so big.
He's such an amazing actor. He really is so good because he is the most like golden retriever, sweet girl dad in the world. Like he is so not Ares, but he so is, but he's so not. And he was
Ares is his day job.
Yeah, Ares is his day job. He goes home and he's girl dad. He has a tutu and stickers all over his face. Yeah.
Okay, so since we didn't get to talk to you after season 1, we thought we wanted to start there a little bit. Specifically, like, you know, you come off season 1, you come back to shoot season 2. Like, where did you find the Clarisse that kind of like walked out of season 1? Like, things are starting to change, you know, things are really getting shaken up on the godly side. Who's the Clarisse that walks on screen the first time here? Like, what's she been up to?
Okay. So we talked about this with Andrew a lot, naturally, of course, but camp has not been okay. Camp has literally been under siege and we've been experiencing things that are a little bit, I think it also too, you have to think about this. Clarisse is a year-rounder, as we know. Chiron is gone. Like, she might not have, like, we might not see a close relationship between Chiron and Clarisse, but like, if we're assuming that she got to camp when she was young, Chiron is most likely the only real parental figure that she's ever had. So, Grandpa's gone. This new weird uncle guy comes in. He's not even actually related to us. Camp is under attack. And one thing that I do know how to do is fight. So what am I going to do? I'm going to protect the only thing that I have left. And so what I'm doing there in terms of mentality of like why it's so important for me to make sure camp is protected is that it's like, this is the only thing that I have ever actually had. So there's that piece. Earlier, prior to Tantalus being put in and Chiron being kicked out, it's more so we see Clarisse in that mode, like when at the end of season 1, when Percy comes back. And it's from that moment on that she decides, if I thought I was working hard, I'm going to start working 10 times harder. Because I know already as a girl in camp and an Aries kid, I have to work harder than anybody else. And then there's also the whole Athena of it all, where it's like my dad has gone on and on and on. Probably handful of times that I've ever seen him has probably gone on and on about he's the better sibling and blah, blah, blah. And he was actually the first one in X, Y, and Z. And just like talking all this like crap. basically. So I have his own emotional like issues with not being enough and wanting to prove myself to him the same way he tries to prove himself to Zeus all the time. So I'm in this position where I'm like, okay, Percy's gone. Time to actually lock in now. I thought I was locked in. Psych. I got a little too comfortable. So that's where we go there. Then Chiron leaves. Tantalus comes in. Everything that I feel comfortable with changes. And the only thing that I feel comfortable with and I know I can do to protect my family is fight. So that's where I'm at when I see Percy. I'm already stressed out. I'm already like eye of the tiger on the prize. And then I see him and his noodle hair coming out of the woods. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding. Like, really? Like, what are you're probably the one that lured the freaking giants here. Like, please, get out of the way. Please. So, like, that's where we're at in the in-between time. Between season 1 Clarisse and season 2 Clarisse. So she's still mentally not matured yet. She understands that she needs to physically, like, work harder and grow. Mentally, she's still in the same place, if not a worse place than she was in season 1. Like, self-worth wise.
Yeah. Especially after, like, I mean, I don't know how much she knows, but, like, if she knows that, like, Percy beat up her dad, or if she knows that they tried to, like, frame her as the lightning thief in season 1 also.
Dog. Yeah, no. There's a whole lot of ish that go. Homegirl really can't catch a break. Like, she can't catch a break. Like, come on. I get it, Clarisse. I'm a Luke sympathizer. I'm also a Clarisse sympathizer.
Yes.
No, it's okay. We are too. This is the thing with Percy's POV. You know, he sort of has these snap judgments he makes on people. Sometimes they're warranted. You know, she did, try to bully him a little bit.
That was his fault. Come
on. I was hazing him. Everybody goes through it.
Speaking of Percy, I do want to talk about, because so much of what we know of Clarisse in the beginning is tied to her relationship with Percy, I want to dig further into the Percy and Clarisse dynamic this season.
Okay, I'm excited.
Because I feel like they have such huge ups and downs as they're, like, learning to exist next to each other this season. And it builds into, like, just this gorgeous arc for the two of them that is so unexpected and genuine. And, like, you and Walker nailed something so core about the two of them that I think is, like we said, it's like seen in pieces in the books and moments. Like, I actually think the most we get of it is the Stolen Chariot short story. But what's really fun about it to me is that I think in a worse show, she and Percy would have had this moment of connection on the Ironclad. And from then on, there would have been, like, a mutual understanding. Like, they would have been on good terms and, like, we can only go up. We started in a bad place. We can only go up. But instead, it just gets worse again. And I love that. I love that so much. Like, I was genuinely so worried for their relationship in the second half of the season because he was being so terrible to her. Like,
because clock it. Like, come on.
I said this in our I think our episode 6 or 7, I can't remember if it was 6 or 7 coverage, but, like, he deserves all of the bullying he gets from now on. I think Luke punching him 10 times in the face was karma for what he did to Clarisse this season. But I just think, like, it was like he was doing that to her when she needed it the least in, like, episode 6 and 7. Like, the fact that she opened up to him about all of her fears about failing this quest and, like, told him that this is, like, her only home is camp, made herself so vulnerable, and then the next time she sees him, he snatches all of that out of her hands, and then has the audacity to show up in the next episode and throw the prophecy in her face. I was like, I'm gonna kill this kid.
Because the actual audacity that this man has is nuts. Like, it's nuts. Percy has the audacity and the confidence of a white man. I love white men. I love all people. I love everybody. But, like, to just put it into quotable perspective, this is how I feel. Like, it's absolutely crazy. But you know what? I love that you touched on the fact about their dynamics, like their relationship dynamics, because it was something that, like, we were trying to figure out. And I remember there was this moment where we had like the decision, like how does Clarisse handle um seeing them again in episode 8?
Mm.
Like, how is the final goodbye with Annabeth, Grover, and Percy? Like, what's the intention underneath it all? With Annabeth and with Grover, it was easier to understand what my internal like monologue was going to be. With Percy, we had to talk about it with Kat for a
Mm.
second because it could have gone in the direction of like, you know, see you next summer, bud. Like
Yeah.
it really could have, but because we all know the books so well, and well, not, I don't want to say know the books so well because I feel like that's like whatever. We're so married to the story, like of the entire Percyverse, that I remember it was every single one of us, like on set that day, was able to put our heads together and be like, this is how we feel in our guts that it would go. And that it's like, I'll see ya. Like,
Mm.
we're not friends. Let's not get this twisted.
Mm.
But I have more respect for you now than I did last year. And deep down, I'm very, very grateful for you. So
Mhm.
it's like, this is just an amazing, I really loved how it ended
Yeah.
between Percy and Clarisse in episode 8. And also too, like, let's work backwards here. That moment, like, okay, working backwards, end of episode 8. The moments, like in that moment where Percy passes her the javelin and the fleece and says, finish the quest. And then also that moment where he hands her the fleece on Blackjack in episode 7. Those two moments, I think they twin each other and they mirror each other in what they do. But shooting those was the most out of body, crazy, nuts, insane experience that I've ever had in my entire life. I've never made contact with another actor like that, like how I did with Walker
Mm.
on that day. I probably only have once with Arian in prep, and it was like an exercise that was like non-Percy related. But I feel like that speaks way, 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 many, many, many more volumes to the unspoken respect and
Mhm.
low key love that they have for each other. More so than like being like, okay, we started at the bottom, we're gonna slowly escalate up to a happy friendship, like could ever do.
Yeah.
Because it's all these stakes are so high, right? 24/7 all the time. So him having enough respect and valuing her enough as a person, or even seeing her as a half human and like seeing her real person inside, like him giving her what she needs, like for her life, basically, like, because
Mhm.
that's what it is. He's giving her what she needs for her life.
Mm.
Like, I feel like that does such a justice to the respect that they have for each other.
Yeah. And especially
And
because
like,
it's despite like all of the doubts he has about bringing Thalia back, despite his like constant need to be in control and to like step in, like,
mhm.
and then he gives her such a real apology in episode 7 too.
He does. And it's like, that's also a huge, 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 I think that's a great as well. It's a huge growth moment for Percy himself because that's got to be hard to do, especially to someone that tried to kill you. like, like, he's like, he really could have been like, she doesn't like me. I don't have to go apologize to her. But he did. And I think it's just, it's a really human thing. Like, I like when these things happen between Percy and Clarisse because it brings us out of the go, 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 action, action, action fantasy and brings us back into the groundedness because those little things are so human. Like, trying to have, like, mustering up the courage to apologize or, like, seeing how desperately someone needs something and being like, let me help you. Like, that goes beyond like the realm of the gods for sure.
Yeah.
So like I really, really appreciate when those moments are done and like the writers execute them so well that I'm like, yeah, this was great and necessary for the story and necessary for me as a person. Thank you.
I feel like it's especially so powerful too, because like loneliness and like friendship comes up a lot this season as like a theme in so many different places. But when I was really sitting and thinking about like which character really carries the torch of that, I think of Clarisse, especially because like her whole prophecy everything about her journey in a way is sort of about this one line about friendship, and like her kind of sitting with that and having, it feels like kind of spiraling out for a while about it, coming up with worse and worse possible interpretations. Were you thinking about that a lot? Like how, these relationships and friendships and how much they weigh on Clarisse specifically, and how that sort of like, I don't know, like kind of just adds to that, to the power of that moment?
It's not so much that I think about that specifically, more so that I just like analyze her life and like what she's currently going through and what she's gone through, and just existing in the prophecy for so long, and then allowing myself to really be actively paying attention and listening when Walker is talking to me as Percy and giving me those moments allows it to come through naturally in the moment. Like that level of shock and that level of being like, so this means that you care? Like, I didn't, like, it just allows it to really come through in the moment. And it's like, it's such, oh my God, every time I think about Clarisse, I just want to freaking cry. Like, it's really crazy. She goes through so much, and I feel bad because I've been talking about all the time about how much she goes through. Every demigod goes through so much. Like, they're demigods. What they live through is not normal. But to experience real camaraderie and like that feeling that you get knowing that like you have somebody is beautiful. Like really somebody that sees you, especially for that somebody to be someone you thought was your enemy, not because of the fact that they're your enemy, like just on a surface level, but like that level of like the level of passion that you have to have a hatred for somebody really blurs like the line energetically between loving somebody and hating somebody. So to be recognized by someone that you already have so much like emotion for, like it hits in a different kind of way. So it's like right, and it's the same kind of deal with like the people that she meets, like her Navy men on the ship. It's like we're in the same boat. Like literally. You don't like me, that's fine. I might not like you guys either after the way that you've ignored me for the past 3 days, but we all have a shared goal. Yeah. Right? Don't we? Forget about the fleets. What do you want for yourself? Because I know what I want, and I'm not going to stop in terms of like what I need to do to go get it. And I'm not going to let you guys stop me either. So either you get on board or you get off the ship. Yeah. And like in that moment, it's like it really could have been taken as like, why would we listen to you? You just told us to our faces that we suck. So why would we listen to you? But it's that same thing. Like when you have so much pent up emotion, but you all have a shared goal, it's so easy and beautiful to put whatever aside that you need to and focus on what's in front of you. And it's a bit more nuanced with Percy because we all do have a shared goal. We do, but Percy has Annabeth. So it's like we care about camp, but Percy has his thing. We talked about it too. Like it's his fatal flaw, and he said it himself. He would burn everything to the ground for her. Yeah. And so going back to like everything that he did, and like and like taking the fleece, and like I had the fleece in my hands. We could have saved the day. We did save the day. We did save the day. But it's like him taking that from her. It was just absolutely nuts. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going on like I'm going totally off the rails here.
This is great. I was gonna say, yeah. I was gonna say too, Clarisse is such an interesting character because she's someone we've always seen surrounded by people. But like even Chris at the end, which what a bird! Like he really comes for her.
So good. Kevin is amazing. I remember when we shot that scene and he had the crazy eyes. I was like, why are you giving me here's Johnny eyes? Like, what is going on right now? I felt so betrayed. What? We were supposed to be together. Like, we were supposed to be ride or die. What is going on?
it was so interesting, like seeing him be like, "You don't have friends," when like all we've seen of Clarisse in season one, at least, and even at the beginning of two, is like she's surrounded by people, but she clearly feels isolated from them still, and she like doesn't feel like she has that community, like you're kind of talking about. Like she doesn't have somebody like Percy who's going to choose her over the world, and I don't know if she has someone that she would choose over the world as well.
See, okay, that you brought me back to something that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't talk about, but because I went on a different tangent. Clarisse, even when it comes to her family, she's their leader. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's not their sibling. She's their leader. And the way that she shows her love, because of the way that love was shown to her, is that I take care. I will make things possible. I will lead you. You don't know me. I don't know you. Like, I don't know my siblings. My siblings don't know me. They can see it. Will I ever talk about it with them? No. Like, and then the same thing with everybody around camp. I can't find, I'm pretty sure the word is solace, but I can't find comfort with anybody at camp. I mean, until Silena, but like, I can't find that space with anybody at camp because everybody fears me. And I was told my whole life, if people fear you, they respect you. If they respect you, that's good. But as you get older, you start to realize like, you need a companion, you need friends, you need love. And I've put myself in a position where I've made it impossible for anybody to give me that. And I'm aware of that. But I'm too prideful and too ashamed to ever try to fix it. Because I've been told if I try to fix it, like that's not something that you try to fix. The way that my dad will love me is if I act like him. I'm like, you know what? These feelings that I'm having, it doesn't matter. Because what I'm doing, my dad told me is going to make him proud. And if I can make him proud, maybe he'll give a crap about me one day. You know? So it's like when he says that at the very end that I don't have friends, it's like, it's a really bittersweet moment because I could have like, Clarisse never would have shown any emotion about it. She never would have. But it's like that thing where it's like, I know how I would have felt about this. But I know that I have people now and I know how powerful that is and I know what that feels like. And it's like all that like flash of like thought happening in 0.2 seconds in my head and then, oh, proof of concept. Screw you.
Yeah. She sees them charging towards her like, all right.
Yeah.
This is a perfect segue into talking about the Chris of it all.
The Chris of it all. Oh.
The direction that we're moving with Chris and Clarisse is so interesting to me because he is in a far less sympathetic position in the show than he is in books. Which I think is a very exciting place to be because it means like I love when you can take a character and put them like as far away from where they're going to be and just work on that journey for them. But it got me thinking like the two most important people in Clarisse's arc after the Sea of Monsters are Chris and Silena, are two traitors, quote unquote. Clarisse wouldn't like me calling her that, so quote unquote. And like I haven't quite found an answer to this question for myself yet, but I have been wondering like, do you have a thought on what it is about Clarisse that draws her to these two people who do these things, you know, like the type of person who would follow Luke, who would work against their home for him. Like, she obviously doesn't know that, but it is a pattern that we're going to watch play out.
I have not thought about this yet myself because we have not touched on the romantic relational aspects of Clarisse yet. I'm sure it's something that we're going to do when we start prepping, if we start prepping for 4. But off the top of my head, if I'm just thinking psychologically, like for a second, it takes a certain level of, a traitor has a certain level of disdain for the gods and their life. In order for you to feel that strongly about anything, it means that you are a person of passion. And I think that's the issue for Clarisse. That's what attracts them, because when you really look at Clarisse, and we've talked about this with Andrew before, is that her fatal flaw is not pride, as like one would think it is. It's her passion, like her heart, the amount in which she cares. And I think it could be that the only people that she sees that same level of just like real passion out of people is someone that has the capability to hate the
Mm,
gods.
Mm.
yeah,
So this is just like a quick thing off the top of my head of why that is,
right.
or why that could be. But it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm also realizing something. You're so right. You're so right, at least in my mind. You're so right.
thank
Because
you.
I'm realizing something that like both of them give Luke himself as the answer for why they turned. Like Chris in the show says
Mm.
Luke was always good to me. And Selena
Yeah.
in the book says Luke was just so nice to her and so charming
Hmm.
and that's why she went with him. And so it's like these are two very like heart-led people looking for community, looking for like maybe
Absolutely.
that's
Mm.
sort of some of the connective
That's the
tissue
connective tissue.
there.
It really is true because yeah, if you take it out of a passion aspect and take it into like a somebody whose heart needs healing aspect, and then like how much Clarisse is in pain 24/7 to find someone that I can look in their eyes and be like, I know you know how I feel. And I know you care about things as much as I care. And then for somebody like the thing about Clarisse is that she's stubborn as heck, so stubborn. She only does what she wants to do. So
Hmm.
when you take it out of like that vacuum, if I have the same heart as Chris and as Selena, I would be the only person that would be able to be unaffected by Luke.
Mm.
Because you have this like cult leader of a guy who knows how to manipulate, like, and he's plucking from the same group of people. Okay,
Mm.
yes, I follow. I'm picking up what you're putting down, girl.
Okay, I also have a thought about Chris that
Yes.
is also just like a I'm just curious about something.
Let's get in. Let's
Um,
ideate, girl. Come on. We can do it
I'm
together.
and like you have the answers to this question probably, so like I'm like it's fine if you say nothing, but I'm just very curious how we're gonna handle all the Chris stuff because like Clarice has obviously grown since her first appearance, but she is someone who once said in her very first episode, "Glory's fine, revenge is more fun," and she now has someone who is perhaps a little deserving of revenge. But
You know.
she's also someone who's become a little bit more understanding, a bit more open
Mhm.
after this season. So it's like, I don't know. I'm very curious what path they're going to go down with them.
I'm curious to see what path they're going to go down with it as well. We haven't had any talks about this just yet,
Mm.
but
Mm,
I think if there's so many ways that we could take it. I don't know yet how we're going to take it, but I will say I was talking about this on Seaweed Brain the other day is like when you have this level of change within your own value structure and thought process, specifically when you
Mm.
start to feel confident and you
Mm.
start to feel like you can trust yourself. I feel
Mm.
like we all go through a cycle where we get it and we're holding on to it and we're at the top of how we feel in terms of our being led by our intuition and trusting ourselves. And then we get faced with the challenge
Mm.
of being presented with a situation that will either force us to grip onto our newfound confidence and newfound
Mm.
intuition or revert back to the same emotional
mm,
like patterns that we have and revert back to relationships that feel familiar.
Mm.
I feel like that's just it's the natural course of how things go, like just in life.
Mm.
yeah.
So I will say if we are to take it into a position where even though Chris is just in a position where he should not be like getting any sympathy from Clarisse at all, it would make sense in my head that he comes out and she goes, I need you to be okay because you make sense to me,
Hmm.
you know? So I will say that about like if we take it down a path of like it's just like she's forgiven him and we're like, girl, stand up. Like why? It's like
Mm.
it would make sense psychologically if she
Uh-huh.
did it. Just
Yeah.
because like like that's just how humans work. We don't stand up right away. It takes many years for us to figure out how to stand up right away.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. A
Mm-hmm.
thought I had too when we were talking about like why the Chris stuff, like Chris and Selena and all of it all is I was also
Mm-hmm.
thinking that she's probably kind of also drawn to people who are a bit out of place because I feel like that's probably how she feels inside. So that
Mm-hmm.
was, I wonder if maybe that's also a place where she could find a little more empathy. too. Like,
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, yes, you're correct. It's like I see you and I know who you are underneath all of that. And you're not this person. It's like, I wish I could give you my mental fortitude. I know you are not the person that you think you are, that Luke told you that you are. Like, yeah, I feel this. I agree. I concur very deeply.
she's there. I mean, we see how deeply she cared about her soldiers too. And so, as you said, like she kind of sees her cabin mates and her camp mates as that as well. So,
It's true. It's like, listen, it's like I think her soldier, it's like, this is how it is. It's like, I have that same level of passion and love for my siblings and for everybody at camp, even though they don't really know me, they don't really see it, and a lot of them might fear me. And I think I don't ever understand how to verbalize or let the love exist outside of my body until after I meet my soldiers and after everything that happens with Percy. Because when you think about it, like she's able to do it with the soldiers because the soldiers literally have no idea who she is. She doesn't have a reputation to uphold with them. She's creating something with them and creating her reputation with them right now. So it's like she's able to be like, you know what? Like, you know, you have the freedom to do so because you don't have any expectation of who you're supposed to be, like living in anybody's head in front of you. So I think that allows her to really, when we see it, she really, really changes. And I think that's what allows her to come back and start letting the empathy show and exist outside of her body, like radiate, not just in here, but like out here.
You mentioned sort of your theories on Clarice's fate, or not, I guess not theories, but your sort of talks on like Clarice's fatal flaw earlier as well. And I'm just thinking about that and like in the context of her journey that we were just talking about. One of the questions I had coming away from this season was because it kept sticking with me the fact that on the Ironclad, as she's sort of outlining the plan to all the soldiers and Percy and Annabeth, she calls the sirens the trial of will, which to me implied she knew about them and was kind of prepping to face them. So my question is, do you think if she were prepping to face them, do you have any idea like what she might have, like what her plan might have been, or like what she was anticipating seeing?
It could have been something to do with her mother. I'm gonna go with this because we had known nothing of Clarice's mom, but the idea that I created like for her, it also lends itself to why she is so like deeply like drawn to Silena is because her mom was similar to Aphrodite in that she was super soft. And what she remembers of her mom is that she was loving and that she cared deeply. And so I think that would be the thing that she would see is her mom. I think it lends itself to her fatal flaw, which is like just how much she's longing just for connection and for love. And I think, yes, I know I already said it, but it lends itself to the relationship with Silena and also lends itself to that whole thing, lends itself to her relationship with Chris because Chris embodies all of the like trauma bondy attachment things that she has with her dad. And Silena embodies in my head all of the beautiful things that she can remember about her mom. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it's just making me sad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I don't know if she would be preparing to see it, but I think that's what she would see. I think she would avoid trying to think about what she's gonna see. I think she would believe that I can brute force my way through that and I'm not gonna see nothing.
Like sort of the Annabeth approach, but with a little more, maybe a little more spear.
Yeah, a little more spear up in there, but she's like, I got him. I'm not seeing anything. What are you talking about? I'm not seeing anything.
Like, no, I'm gonna repress it so much. Maybe she would pass Cersei's course actually and be able to successfully.
She might. Clarice
Cersei
might
be like watching it like, whoa, it worked.
That was a great question. Thank you.
Yes, I do have a follow-up question, which is just as much of a bit of a big brain one.
Okay.
But the cinch, obviously, she took a shortcut, which Cersei said we can't do. But
Mm.
we do learn from Annabeth that there is no such thing as a shortcut in the Sea of Monsters. They'll always find their way to put themselves in front of you, all the obstacles. Do you
Yes.
think there was something Clarisse went through that was like the equivalent, like the trial of will that really tested her fatal flaw?
Are we talking a physical obstacle or an emotional obstacle?
I think emotional.
Okay.
That's sort of what I was thinking about. Like what sort of kind of became that for her, you know?
Hmm. I feel like the emotional obstacle for her that continued to show up, and like again, like we see it, is that she tries to do things by herself.
Mm,
Even when it's been proven to her and she's existed in a space when like where we
mm,
know now that it's better to do things with people.
mm,
I think that's the thing that keeps coming up. And then once, and this is like, again, like this is like the snap, snap, snap of it all. It's like she has this innate understanding now that
mm,
multiple is better than uno. Like
mm,
strength in numbers is a real thing emotionally.
mm,
But then because of just what she is used to doing, it's like, okay, if I have to make a decision where it's solo dolo, I'm looking out for me, I'm going to do that.
mm,
And then she realizes the repercussions of what could happen choosing to go solo dolo after already knowing that, again, strength
mm,
in numbers is a real thing. She understands, like she goes and like she's like, okay, this is better, but
mm,
I'm going to do this instead because of something that I've been faced with and I'm
mm,
used to doing this. And then as this is about to be put into action, I'm like, "Uh-oh, I can't this is wrong. This is wrong. I shouldn't be doing this. This is wrong." And I try to
mm,
fix it, but the damage is already done. And I
mm,
think we see that happen a couple like one or two
mm,
times after she's discovered what it means to have a team.
Hmm.
mm, mm,
I mean, that's all of episode 7 pretty much for her.
mm,
Basically, yeah, like that would be the one thing that it's like, because I could have stood firm, I could have stood
mm,
on it and been like, no, I'm not, we're going with my plan. I know
mm,
what I'm going to do is going to work. But it's also, too, not only am I, okay, let me put it like this, it's the Athena of it all. It's like,
mm,
I know, and I have this thing in my head that Annabeth knows more than me. Annabeth is better than me. Annabeth comes from a lineage of people that is
mm,
better than me. She knows more than I do. So
mm,
then I'm like, you know what? It's fine.
mm,
At the end of the day, I need to get this fleece, and it's like that's the pep talk. The pep talk that she has is like, you didn't really come here to make friends. You're gonna fail without friends, anyways. You already know you don't have friends. None of
mm,
this is actually real.
Mm.
Pick your people.
Yeah.
And
mm,
so I go in and I pick my people. And as I'm standing there with Percy and Annabeth beside me, looking out to these guys that I've now forced myself to become mentally detached to, detached from Percy and Annabeth, literally shoulder to shoulder with me, because I
mm,
had to revert back to the mindset that I had before any of this growth happened in
mm,
order to be safe, putting them mentally, putting those men out there on that deck. Carrington turns to me,
mm,
realizes what's going on, and instead of charging at the porthole or trying to get back inside, sends me off with respect.
mm,
And then that's when all of that comes rushing back. And I start realizing that I can't do this.
mm,
Hmm.
mm,
And I think that's what lends itself to the whole thing that keeps, like, it
mm,
reinforces itself. It's almost like the lesson that needed to be learned for years and years and years was finally learned. And it will be damned if I unlearn it. So it
mhm.
Hmm.
just keeps showing up in front of my face.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so real too. You don't have the
Right.
one thing that happens, you know?
Yeah,
You kind of have to have it, beaten over your head a little bit to change.
exactly. Yeah.
Speaking of Annabeth and Clarice, I want to talk a little bit about these two because
Hmm.
so long ago, when the very first promotional photo of you as Clarice came out, my very first thought was she has 5 beads. That means she got to camp the same year as Luke and Annabeth. Which
Oh!
opens up so many fun questions.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were just talking about Annabeth, I do want to start with Annabeth, but there are some other questions here.
Yes.
This means that Clarisse would have grown up with Annabeth, would have been not too far from Clarisse's, or not too far from Annabeth's age. Like they grew up together. What do you think Clarisse's relationship with Annabeth is at the start of this season, or like in season 1?
I think I've always had an understanding about our relationship. Like, I think, you know, she's always been in proximity with me. She might have been smarter, but I was a better fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And she's somebody that exists in my world. Same thing with Luke, is that it's like he intimidated me. And I think that's, again, Charlie and I have talked about this before. We were like, I think Luke and Clarisse avoid each other because we know that if we cross paths in a not so savory way, one of us is dying. Like, it's a to the death kind of thing. People don't call, like, we don't call truce. So when it comes to the relationship with Annabeth, I think it's like, I know her, I care for her because she's a constant, and I have a respect for her. And then I think that respect kind of gets laced with a little bit of envy or a little bit of jealousy when I start hearing my dad constantly talking about the Athena of it all. Because I start to take on his trauma, and that kind of changes our relationship.
Yeah.
But there is that camaraderie. Like, it's like, you know, it's like summer camp. It's not even the summer camp, but it's like these are your people. We're both getting to summer camp. We don't really know what's going on. You guys are around my age. Hey, what's good? Okay, we're kind of being, I understand what the scope is now. Like, we're being put to the test. We're trying to see who's better at what. Okay, here we are. Now we're in competition. This is what I'm better at. This is what I know you're better at than me, but this is what I'm better at when it comes, like, better at than you. And now we're going our separate ways. Like, we're growing up. And it's the sad thing that happens, that camp can bring people together, but it also too can really, really put a wedge in relationships before they even start.
And they're both year-rounders. Like, they literally were around each other 24/7.
And this is the thing, is like, talk about it, because this is the thing, is that it's like, not only do I pick Annabeth to go on the quest because I know I need her brain, but she's also one of the only other people that I know get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need this just as badly as I do in terms of keeping our home safe. Like, you're the only one that could possibly understand what I'm going through. And if my dad talks about your mom all the time, I know she's talking about my dad to you.
There's another piece of this puzzle, which is Thalia.
Yes. Ooh, the Thalia of it all.
Either Clarisse had just arrived at camp after Thalia died, or she was at camp when Annabeth, Luke, and Thalia arrived. And so, like, that myth took shape sort of around the same time as she was arriving.
Exactly. It's like, this is the only way that I've ever known camp to exist, like, under Thalia's protection. And I've ever only known Luke and Annabeth feeling loss. Like, that's how I met them, like, in a state of shock and loss. So I've always known Luke to have this, like, anger about him. Like, I think Clarisse always had that magical foresight, which is another thing that makes me so pissed at Percy. But that I also, too, can't be mad at him for not getting it. But, like, also to understand him being, like, me being pissed at Percy when he gives Luke the fleece. Because I'm like, you don't know this guy. Like, you don't know how dark he gets when he's dark. And you're not listening to me.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I never thought about Clarisse and Luke's history in that moment, actually. I'm realizing. But
it's like, this is the thing. But it's like, when it comes to Thalia, I like to, and this is a very, very, it's low-key blasphemous. I'm sorry. I apologize. Amen. But it's like, Thalia is the Jesus of camp.
Yeah.
Like, Thalia is.
Oh, she is.
Like, she really is. She died for our sins.
Yeah.
Thalia is the Jesus of camp. And I remember when we were shooting that scene where I do meet Aries at Thalia's tree at Half Blood Hill. I remember, like, one of the things that I did, like, when walking up, like, that helped me become like into the scene before each take was like, I look at the tree, I put my hand on the tree, and I pray to Thalia. I'm like, yo, like, I've only ever known you as this thing that protects people. I know you're a person. I don't know if you're still in there. Holy Spirit, keep me safe. Like, like, this is like what it is. And then it's a really odd moment when she comes to life because I did it. Like,
Yeah.
So did I do that? Okay, I did that. And then when it comes to seeing her in person and like interactions that Clarisse and Thalia may or may not have in season 3, it's kind of like, it's a difficult and very strange position to be in because my dad has made me to be exactly like you.
Yeah.
Everything about me is you. You're what I was supposed to be. So it's like, it's hard. It's tough. It's like you are the better version of me. I'm looking at it right now. If I would have known what you looked like, I probably would have saw you instead of myself. Like when I had that oracle scene.
That's interesting. Yeah, we spent a lot of time when we watched episode 4 talking about the like Clarisse Thalia,
the Clarisse
parallels.
Thalia, yeah. Because it's everything. I mean, come on, everything about it is the same, down to the weapon that my dad gives me. Like, I am Aries' bargaining chip when it comes to Zeus. Like, he's like, look it, Dad, look what I can do. Look it. Like, I can be just like you. Like, love me, please love me. I'm just like my dad. So it's like, it's tough. It's crazy. It's crazy town up in there.
I know I can't ask you what the heck Clarisse is doing in season 3, but
she's not in that
book. What is she doing? Girl, why were you on set? What is going on? You know, they are really smart. They found a way to use Clarisse as a tool. And the relationship that enables that toolage is extremely unexpected.
Okay.
Cool. I'll just think about that for like the next year. And
Clarisse aside, did you have any favorite moments from Titan's Curse looking forward? Or I guess looking back now that you've probably seen some of them at least a little bit come to life.
You know, the Air and Space Museum. The Air and Space Museum is just, it's 10 million times better than what I could have thought it was going to be. Because I was shadowing Nick Copus while he was shooting Air and Space, and just like, it looks like a James Bond movie. It looks like Jason Bourne. It looks like freaking Mission Impossible. Like, it just is so good. And the stunts, dude, stunts season 3, cut. Like, it's over. It's over for everybody. Like, it's nuts. The way that they're choreographing all of this, the way that everything is being lit and shot, everything is a bit darker. Like, there's explosions and like, everything is just, it feels like a proper high stakes, we're out of action, we're into real life. The Sea of Monsters is still a very mythical experience. Like, it's a very mystic season. We're in a magical sea and on a magic island with a cyclops. Like, you know what I'm talking about? So everything still exists in the realm of fantasy. We get completely taken out of that in book 3 and in season 3 because, like, it's the All-American Road movie. We're going on a road trip, you guys. Like, it's a road movie. And so everything gets that kind of the mist gone. Like you're put into the real world. And if you already thought the stakes were high, it's higher because in the real world, people don't have empathy. Ain't nobody care about nothing. It's every man for himself. Like it's crazy. It's so crazy. But I will say everything out of everything that I've seen adapted, the Air and Space Museum was c'est bon. And I will also say that we got the right Apollo.
Okay.
We got the we
Okay.
we got the right Apollo.
I'm so excited. I also incredible. Selfishly, I'm also thrilled that that's your answer because that's like one of that at the time I read The Titan's Curse was my favorite museum in the world because we used to travel down to DC because we had like family friends that lived there. So we'd go down to DC and we'd just be like Air and Space Museum, Air and Space Museum. Like I want to ride on the ride.
Yeah.
I want to go on the inside roller coaster. It's not actually a roller coaster, but it felt like one. And so I just remember reading Titan's Curse and like I was in it. I was so vividly there because it's just like my favorite place. And I love to hear that we have something to look forward to there.
Yes, you do. I mean, hey, that Air and Space Museum was better than the real Air and Space Museum. Okay. They built like that was one of the most elaborate sets that I'm pretty sure that I mean I haven't been there since Break, but Air and Space was the most elaborate set that I had seen since filming season 3. Now Westover Hall is beautiful. Like it is amazing. Like the outlook at Westover is beautiful. And you know, like the snow-covered hallways, like the outside things in Westover, it's beautiful. But Air and Space was a literal 1-to-1 life-size, specifically designed airplanes placed in certain places for what we needed to do set. Like it was absolutely crazy.
I think then we have to ask you our last question. So that you can run away.
Let's do it. I'm sorry, guys. I'll run away. I'll be running back very shortly.
Please do not apologize.
So at the end of every episode, we come up with a bead inspired by whatever the topic of the episode was. And so if you were to design a bead to represent your experience of season 2, whether it's like your experience of filming season 2 or Clarice's journey, whatever it is, a bead to represent season 2, what would be on it?
Let me really think about this because this is important. It would be either like some kind of like heart, like not in the shape of a heart, but like a literal like heart with like a row of people in front of it, like holding like the little stick figures holding hands and like protecting it. I think that's what it would be.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm locking in on that one.
Yeah,
I'm locking
beautiful.
in. Yeah, that's my answer. Ding ding.
Okay, gonna draw it.
And I'm gonna draw it. I am gonna draw it.
Yes.
No, I have to shamelessly plug Phoebe. Oh my god, Phoebe did an incredible Selena drawing a few weeks ago. That you need to see.
Send it to me. I want to see it. Who is your guys' fan cast for Selena?
Ooh, I don't know if I have one. Every time I draw Selena, she comes out different. So I don't know if I really have one because I feel like she just like every time I think of her, she looks different.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've come to realize I'm one of the people where I don't. You know how there's like that thing of like your visualization where it's like some people can visualize like certain amounts. Like I've come to realize that like I don't picture people's faces ever when I'm reading. Which is funny because like in like theater and stuff, they'll be like, so who do you want to play this role when I'm like writing it? And I'm like, literally anybody. I don't know. Like it's not about energy.
Right. The fan cast though. The fan cast would have to be someone who, at least in some way, resembles you, though, so that book 5 makes sense.
I mean, does it have to make full sense? I feel like it didn't. I feel like it did. It was such a reach. Like it didn't make full sense. Like what is like? Ain't nobody gonna believe an Aphrodite.
No, they wanted to
believe. Same build as, like they wanted to. I personally am fan casting. Momona Tamada, because but like We shall see. Okay, I love you guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
We can't wait to have you back someday, very soon.
Yes. We'll come back and we'll talk only books.
Okay. We'll do that.
Only books.